Hello guys, today I will talk to you about this 2018 M550i in depth after leasing it for almost a year. Got a pretty good idea about this car. Overall it's a very good car, but it's got a few flaws, a few drawbacks. Anyways, let's start with the exterior. We've all now been familiar with the new BMW design. Here you have the E39. The lines are different. You can see it's very subtle, very subdued, compared to this here. There's more creaks, they are more angled, more sharp. The hood has more stuff. It's more puffed up. It's so much bigger in comparison to the E39. Yeah, it's a lot bigger. I parked them side by side, and yeah, this feels like almost like a 3 Series in comparison to it. But this is the trend with all cars now. The 7 Series is much bigger, the 5 Series is bigger, the 3 Series is the same size as the E39, so it's not going to change. We have here the full LED headlights. Those are standards on the M550, and you can see there's a projector here and here on both, and they both turn on. And in the high beam, the whole thing turns on, like up and down. There's like 2 sections. Yeah, so at night you would have 2 here on and the other one on, versus the X3 had something on the inner projector does not come on for some reason, but this is the full LED. That one is a LED, but it's not the full adaptive LED. I think those are called Icon. Yeah, and you have the, let me see, I can get them to turn on. Yeah, as you can see, it's very beautiful. The way you don't see the lights from the top, or from the side. You only see the light when you're directly facing it. It's very gorgeous, and the lighting at night is very beautiful, very strong, the output. Anyhow, come down to the bumper here. There is a radiator here. I think it might be part of the intercooler. So there's one here, and you have the adaptive cruise control unit here, PDCs, parking distance control, and then you have another intercooler here. I think this is an intercooler, not the radiator. The radiator here is here in the middle. It's still just the normal radiator stuff. And the active grill, you can see they are closed right now. And then we have, it's dirty, need to be washed. Then we have these openings here for the air. It goes in, it goes around the wheel. And then we have this here as well, and you can see it's also an opening, so the air comes out. The air comes out, goes out here, and it just glides on the body to the back. There's not a whole lot of wind noise in this car, so that's good, but there's quite a bit of road noise, unfortunately, and I think it might be due to the run flat tires. So we have run flat tires here, 245 40 19 in the front, and 275 35 19 in the back, I believe. And they are staggered, so the rears are wider than the front. Just doesn't look that much, There's still like the arc still covers the wheel. I like it when it's flush with it, so you can put wheel spacers, but it's a personal taste. Like, for example, you can see M5 here. The wheel mostly is much coming out of the interior, if you can see in comparison. Now that this M5 is also 245 275, same tire size, except this is 19, that's 18. Anyways, The sunroof is not that big. Let's come to the interior here. This got the wood trim, and this is the mocha Napa leather with sort of contrast piping here, and diamond stitching. I think these are the standard seats on this car. So got the piano black here, trim pieces. I personally do not like the piano black, but it is what it is. That's what comes with the car. I'm not really sure if there are other options or not. We have the dash is all soft material here, including the glove box door. It's big enough to fit some stuff. There's no more. There is here, you can lock the trunk. I think if you do this, it won't open anymore. But we're gonna keep it unlocked. There's no flashlight anymore. Here is a little bit hard, but it's soft. I mean, the surface is, I don't know if this is leather or fake leather, but it's covered with it and it's stitched everywhere here. Here is soft rubber, so that's good. We have here also, this is, it seems to be stitched, but I don't think this is leather. I'm not sure this is like even real stitching. It might be, but I don't think this is leather. I really doubt it. This doesn't feel like it. But anyways, it's all soft. It just feels rubbery, but you can see if I push on it, the whole thing moves. Probably hard to see, but yeah. The fit and finish in this car is not the best, but this is the first year production, so I'm sure it'll get better over time. The sun visors, they come off. Very typical BMW. The mirror, you can see here, the frame is very small compared to the previous ones, and the clown nose is more like a horseshoe now. So you can see there's like the door garage opener here, 1, 2, 3, and then you have the security light. In the old cars, it's called the clown monkey, but here they got rid of it. I think this is a different design. And so the front seats, there's plenty of room, very comfortable. You have memory seat for the passenger as well as the driver. Harman Kardon comes standard. It's decent, not the best, but it's good. Just when you turn it up too much, it becomes a little bit annoying. Like it's not that much accurate, you know, on loud. But on low volume, it's not bad. It's all insulated here, just the typical BMW double insulation, and here as well. They make them better now. The older ones, they used to come off and they break or whatever, but these ones are not better. The fuel door here, see, opens automatically, so not bad. Minimum octane 91. So yeah. Anyways, let's look at the. I want to scratch the other one. So here is the passengers. The legroom is pretty good. So I'm 5'8", and that's way coming back here. There's plenty of room to move this forward. So like the driver's seat, you can see there's more legroom there. The headroom is pretty good. So you have this hump here that will take care of anybody who's like, I think if you're 6 feet here or more, you'll fit just fine. Sunroof is not that big like the X3, but panoramic. I really like the panoramic sunroofs now. That one is just nicer. You have the sunshade here and here. Unfortunately, this one makes noise on the road. It rattles and it's very annoying. You don't want to take it to the dealer because they might just mess with it and not really fix it. Might be just a design problem. I'm not sure, but that one seems to be the problem. Anyways, the seats are very comfortable. They're soft. The leather is very soft. You have this here, and you got, obviously, a cup holder. This does not open, I believe, and there's seems, okay, I see. So this can open up to put your skis. Now, one thing I don't like about this is your skis are gonna be wet, so they're gonna come here, and you have to put them in the bag, obviously. But the older cars, like my E39 M5, the ski bag here, there's an actual ski bag. Like it's like a sock, and a waterproof sock, so you can put your skis in through the hole, and your interior here won't get dirty, won't get wet, or anything like that. So I'm not sure why they got rid of that, but it's all part of cost cutting, obviously. You can see there is let me close the door. So the ambient here goes here. There is in the footwell as well, I believe. If you can see it probably on the brake pedal. And goes here. Goes here. You can change the colors. I'll show you in a little bit. Pockets here. Here rear seats. I think that this comes standard, I believe. Heated steering wheel, front seats and rear seats as well. The climate control here is basic, so there's only temperature, and you open the vent or close it. That's it. There's no temperature control here, or vent control per se. Beside this, so if the air is coming cold, this is not going to make it hot, if that makes any sense. This is similar to the one in the middle, like in the old cars. This one has it too. Anyways, reading lights. There is no reading light here. The map lights are here, you can see, and there's the middle one as well, and the other side too. It's not that strong. For example, like it's not really a decent reading light here. So it's let's see now. So turn it on. In a very dark area, it might work, but it's strong here. Yeah, it might do the job. But anyways. The car is too dark on the inside because of the tint here. It's been tinted. We got the PDCs here. It's the rear bumper. I really don't like this rear bumper. I wish it was just straight like this, or just smaller. The piece, maybe the black piece maybe would have been. It's just smaller than. I don't understand why they had to make it this way. It makes it look ugly. Anyways, that's just the personal taste. Got the backup camera here, and so take a look at the bottom here. This is not a limited slip differential. It's an open diff, as you can see, which is interesting, but nonetheless, it's an aluminum chassis. But the control arms there, the big ones, we'll call it the swing arm, is steel, looks like. You got the valve for the exhaust when you put it in sport mode. That valve will open up, and I put a video for the exhaust sound. The foot activation works pretty well. This thing is pretty good. Keeps the dirt or whatever here. You have the rear seats, all of them fold. So the middle one folds, the right one folds. The left one folds. You can fold it from here. There is here you can hang your shopping bags. Small net here. Here. Yeah, that's probably the spare tire, not spare tire, so you can take off the wheel or whatever. There is no spare tire in this car, and I think this is not connected. Yeah, that's very interesting because the mobility kit is put somewhere. Fuse box here. Let's see. Alright. Trunk release, as always. Got wheel lock kit. Okay, whatever. As you know, this will close the trunk, this will close and lock the car. Let's go ahead and close the trunk. Chrome accents here, no big deal. Not my favorite color really, but as you can see the water leaves marks on it, and it's just, it won't go. You have to clean it up right away, and it's a bit painful. But nonetheless, overall, it's a clean design. So let's look here at the interior here. More door pockets here and the other side. This will fit a water bottle easily. Not a big one, but a decent one, because you have to make sure it's not that long, that tall. Auto folding mirrors and manually folding as well. Rear sunshade is operated via this button. Memory seats. This is just plastic. So let's see here. There is a storage area here, and you can see why they didn't line it up with felt or something like this one is. They just left it like that, and that's just. This is really bad. This is really bad. It's cheap, and it's flimsy, and it makes a lot of noise, so this thing rattles in there. Pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know why they did this. This is the only cheap plastic I can feel. Everything else is soft rubber. You know, this is soft rubber. This is, you don't really touch this part here, but this here, I don't know why we made it so cheap plastic here. This is cheap plastic here, cheap feeling. And this is soft though. That one is not. So yeah, they skimmed in some places. So like for example, this is soft rubber. This is also, I don't know, there's leather or whatever here, soft rubber everywhere. But some places they skimmed on that. Alright guys, steering heater. So this is for the cruise control. This is for the cruise control here. You have this is the lane keep assist. You turn on and off. This is for the cruise control, and this will make you allow you to choose the distance between you and the car in front of you. One problem with the cruise control I found is when you're on the highway on a sweeping curve, for example, and there's like cars in front of you, and then the car goes out of sight. So the car will start accelerating because it thinks there's no car in front of it, you know, but it's a long corner. So suddenly you're starting accelerating if it happens that it went slower. Because when the car in front of you slows, this car will slow down, and it will slow down all the way to a stop. That's how it works. You know, it it won't just slow down, it'll actually slow down all the way to a stop. So that's pretty good. Anyways, let's see here what we got. Typical you know, BMW Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, wireless CarPlay. There is a wireless charger here. It's small. I mean, your iPhone 8 Plus will barely fit in here. I mean, you need to have one of the thin cases. Mine barely fits here. With this kind of thin case, but I have to push it down. iPhone X fits here, no problems. There is a USB here and a socket here, charger, and then you have another USB here. There's a light here and another socket here. This auto hold, what it does is when you're in traffic and you don't want to keep your foot on the brake at a light or whatever, you press this, and when you come to a complete stop, it will hold the car for you. So that's what the auto hold for. Parking brake is electronic. There is no 360 camera in this car. It's not. It's part of a package. You get, I think, Driver Assistant 2 or whatever, Driver Assist Plus. However, this car has the ceramic applique on the controls. You can see how it's darker. The ones that don't have ceramic applique, usually this is going to be lighter color, like this or like this color. I like the ceramic applique. It makes it looks nice. It feels good. Even here too. This is touch sensitive. You can write on it when you do that GPS, whatever. And there is a connected drive with this car where you can text the address from your phone. It'll come to the car and then put it up for you and give you directions. Some stuff are cool, you know, but some stuff are a little bit annoying. There's vehicle tracking as well. You enable it or disable it here, and then you can track it on your phone via the app. The vehicle key, I like the vehicle key. It's different than the other ones. The keys are they're not aluminum, but they look like they are. And you have the M logo here, even though it's not an M car. And obviously this will, you'll be able to take this off. Let's see. Okay, so this will come off. What this is for is you can take this key and basically lock the glove box here. So if you have something valuable, you want to leave it in the glove box, you lock it with this key, and then you keep this key with you and you give the valet this key. So the valet can operate the car, but they cannot open the glove box. That's the idea behind the two-piece key. There is a CD player here. You have temperature control, fan control. You know, the passenger fan is separate than the driver fan, and the vent, you can take the air separately from the passenger, so you can direct the air however you want separately from the passenger, and the passenger can do theirs separately from the driver. So that's pretty cool. This used to be on the 7 Series only, and now it's on the 5 Series, and probably soon will be on the 3 Series, I'm not sure. So you have auto climate control on both, and then so this button here, this is obviously a hazard, but this button here will tell you, you can like press the button and it will enable all the driving aids. Press it, it'll disable them, but we have it disabled because only the pedestrian is on. The lane keep assist is it's very annoying. It's really annoying. So when you're in a lane and you come close to the lane marking on this side or that side, this starts vibrating and it wants to pull you back, and you're like fighting with the steering, and it's the most annoying thing I've ever tried in my life. I mean, but in terms of driving pleasure, because that's why you buy a brand like this, for the driving aspect of BMW, yeah, this ruins the whole thing. So we had to disable it. It was very, very annoying. Anyways, the cluster here, there's not a whole lot. So this is for the auto high beam. It will turn on and off automatically depending on traffic and light conditions all around. You can see we're getting 23.2 miles per gallon combined, and we drive the car like maniacs. What else we got here? It's got 10,000 miles right now, and this will give you the MPG. What's your MPG? Yeah, that's it. The dials are not that configurable. So one thing I really hate about this thing here, when you're in comfort mode or when you're in eco pro mode, it does not tell you your speed. So for example, when you put it in sport mode, you see now it displays the speed here, which is awesome because I mean there is a big gap here between these two that you need to look out for, you know. And you have to constantly, you know, measure, am I like 45 or whatever. So it's very annoying. I wish the comfort, I wish you could customize and get rid of this, and or just add a number, add the speed here or somewhere where so you can see the speed in as a digital way. Not only on the, surely you can see it on the head-up display, but there's one problem with the head-up display is if you have polarized glasses, sunglasses, you will not be able to see the head-up display. It's like it's gone. You won't see anything. So that's one problem. Is I wear Ray-Bans and they are polarized, and I cannot see the head-up display. So I always look at this, and in comfort mode I can't see the speed directly like it is here. I wish I could, but yeah. So a lot of the times I drive it in sport and do the manual shifting, so it won't, you know, keep the rev up and becomes like a monster or whatever. So anyways, when you select sport, you can configure the thing itself. So there's a standard, there's the plus, and there's the individual, and you can configure the individual here. The sport displays basically gives you the horsepower and the torque. So let's see, I think, yeah, there's a limiter here that it won't let me kick in higher. Let me see, efficient dynamics. Yeah, nobody cares about that right now. So let's go back here. Okay, so you can configure the individual. You change the damping, the steering, the engine, transmission, but there is the Sport Plus. So the individual right now, they're all dialed in for just sport, basically. And damping, let's see, sport or comfort. I see. So engine and transmission can be changed into Sport Plus. Here you can choose your seat. Let's see. Driver, front passenger, seat support for dynamic driving. Yeah, you can choose if you want the driver as well to be the bolsters. So when you put in sport, the driver's side, the seat, the bolsters will inflate, so they hug you tighter. And then on hard cornering, you will feel it moving a bit, like hugging you more, but it's not as intrusive as the M5. You know, the M5 really grabs you from your side. It's almost like kind of freaky, but yeah. So you can choose here the driver only, because sometimes the passenger, you know, might not like that. The plus is just sets everything to the plus, you know, to the extreme. Usually that's what I use. And then you can configure. So the adaptive here, there's adaptive as well. What the adaptive does is it constantly changes. You know, it uses the sensors or whatever to adjust the damping, etc., etc., the steering, the engine response, blah blah blah. It's good. It's actually pretty good. The adaptive one is good, but I prefer the comfort. I find it very very responsive enough, just good enough, in traffic. Even on the highway, it's good, sometimes traffic you want to have the sport, but anyways. So the Eco Pro is also configurable, and so here I think we have it set. Yeah, we have the damping as Sport in Eco Pro and the steering in Sport. So this way we can drive in eco mode while having the car with the least body roll possible. What the Eco Pro does is when you're coasting on the highway or like going downhill or whatever, the engine RPM will drop down to idle basically. So it disconnects the transmission from the engine to save fuel, which is very interesting. Not sure if other cars do that, but yeah, BMW does that, and it's a little bit interesting. And here you have connected drive, blah blah blah, vehicle. So you can choose some. There's some lighting here, interior lighting again. You can change the brightness. And the color, you change the color here. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of colors, but there's enough, I guess. They probably add more later. It's just they can probably do a software update, for them. It's a one touch signal 3 times, daytime, welcome lights, etc. Let's see here. Yeah, you can enable the lock and unlock signal, acoustic, whatever, the chirp. There's like a speed warning recommended in this car. We have it set to 80 because this car just, yeah, it's very fast. On the X3, I was like, it's not worth it because it's not much of a fast car, but this car is pretty fast. Driver attention control, there's the coffee break thing, whatever. And then here, cross traffic alert, automatic PDC activation. It activates automatically when you put it in reverse, and then when you're navigating slowly through something, it comes on automatically. I don't know, I think it's constantly working, and then when it sees you're close by to something, it activates automatically and starts beeping. So that's pretty cool. Cross traffic alert as well. There's no camera, but it will beep, and it has a separate beep than the normal parking beep. But it works actually. It's not bad. Seat comfort, I think you can. Yeah, so what this does is show seat settings. So as soon as I touch the control, it will show you what each thing you're touching controls. So it's pretty cool. So one thing I hate about this car, or about these seats, I think there's, let's see here, the menu, vehicle status, the tire settings. Here you can measure the oil, engine level oil, and it takes time for it. So when you do the measure oil level, it start measure. So watch the RPM as I hit start measure. It goes up on its own. So you have to be parked, and you have to be like it doesn't let you do it every day or something, or like every 5 minutes. You have to drive a certain distance, then it will activate again. You can activate it again, and then it does the progress here. So while I'm sitting right now and this is revving up like that, there is a shake in the car, which is very weird, but the car is shaking, so I don't know what it is. engine misfire or just something not balanced well. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. But the engine level is good. The oil was changed not too long ago. Everything's fine. Blah blah blah. Yeah, something interesting actually. The tire pressure monitor, it tells you the pressure and the temperature as well, which is I find that very interesting. So looks like we have a low pressure on this one, but it tells you the temperature, which is useful on the track because you can you know dial the tire pressure the way you want it based on the temperature and whatnot. So one thing I really do not like about these seats, the headrest. I mean, the headrest is, I do not like this headrest. So what the problem with it is it won't move forward and backward. So what you can move this, you know, so it sort of holds your head in, but it won't move forward. So sometimes you want this to come a bit forward. In the regular seats, the ones, these are the comfort, the regular ones, you can actually move this. There's like a button you press here, and then this whole thing comes out, and it's very nice. Then you can really rest your head on it. You make it closer to your head and whatnot. But this one here doesn't seem to work. I tried everything. This is like all the way possible, and yeah, it's not that nice. M550 here. These were extra, by the way, but they are good. Keeps the car clean, you know. Aluminum pedals here. Let's show you the hood. You do this twice like that. Then you have to do is just lift it up. There's nothing for you to fiddle with. There's some sound deadening here. You can see this is the engine. It looks glorious. It's very beautiful. So this is a hot V where the turbos are sitting inside the V, and you got the M Performance here. This is not carbon fiber, by the way. It's just plastic. But this here, oh yeah, this is plastic. I thought it was metal. So deceiving this car is. Anyways, pretty much, yeah. So you see how much space there is here. This whole thing is puffed up. I mean, if you open the hood on that car, the radiator will be right here. You know, like everything is fit tight. Everything is very close together. But here you can see there's so much inside the panels. There's a lot of space, and that why it makes them look bigger, strangely. So there's a battery here, looks like. I think this car has 2 batteries. One gets charged by the brake system. Now the brakes is called a regenerative brake system. It charges back electricity, just like a Prius, you know. It charges back their battery, this one here. And I think the main battery, there's another battery in the trunk, usually. That's where the battery is. It's, yeah, there's not much here you can do. There's the cool expansion tank, whatever. So yeah, but anyways, it looks pretty. Who knows what, this is all plastic. I just don't know how this will be after, you know, 70,000 miles. I'm sure the reliability of this car is very questionable, but this is a lease, so nothing to worry about. Then you close it down. Anyways, typical, you get also 3 washer jets, 1, 2, 3. So the new, so that's on the outside and the inside about this car. There's I think I covered everything for you here on those 2 things. And now we're gonna take it for a drive. You can see the sensor here. on each door. So if it's locked, you can open it up by touching the door, and it'll open up wherever you are. So you can, you see, you lock it, and you want to unlock it. It's unlocked. So right now the rear door is not unlocked. So what you do is when you here, it unlocks it for you. So it's pretty cool. The key proximity works really well. Headlights are beautiful, don't you think so? Anyways, we're gonna take this car for a ride and give you more thoughts about the road noise and the driving dynamics overall. You can see here it's not 100% flush, you know, and these things really bother me. It should be in like that, but anyways, let's hop in and go for a ride. Alright, so let's go for a ride. The backup camera comes up, and the parking sensors. Again, there's no 360 cam in this car. It was an option, and this is the basic. This is the basic model. Keep that in mind. So the basic model is very well equipped, to be honest. You know, and that's why most dealers are selling it priced at over $80,000. I think it's fair price for the car. You know, I would not pay more than $80,000 for this car. I mean, it's good, it's nice, but the power is amazing. This is really the best part of this car, is the power. The power is incredible. It's very good, even though it's only 450 or 460 horsepower, but the four-wheel drive and the sport transmission, they all come, you know, and all in combined, they give you an exhilarating experience. I mean, think about it. This car is faster than the F10 M5. So that's how quick it is, you know. So power aside, you know, it's nice and great, and it sounds good. Driving dynamics wise, if you're buying BMW for the driving nature, you know, it's still better than other cars. It's better than Lexus. It drives better than Mercedes, in my opinion. But it's just not the same what it used to be. And I say that because owning an E39 M5 gives me the opportunity to know what BMW was and how it is now. So right now it's not so thrilling. So if this is your first BMW, you're gonna lose your mind. You're like, oh my god, this is the best car in the world. But when it's not your first, you're gonna realize, you know, how the BMW is off track. The feedback is not great through the steering. So the older BMWs, you get feedback through the tires, through the rear seat, through the steering wheel. So in your fingertips, you can feel how the road surface is. In the seat here, the bottom, you can feel what's going on. If the rear end is shaking, if the front end is shaking, you know, you can feel everything. And the car really communicates with you, and it's an awesome experience. This car does not deliver on that, so keep that in mind, and you're gonna be extremely satisfied. So beside that, we'll try to go on the highway here. It's loud. The cabin is loud in there. So now all the windows are closed. At highway speed, when you're doing 80 miles an hour, the cabin is relatively loud. I would like it to be more insulated, and I think that the run flat tires is the problem, because run flat tires, you know, they have a really stiff sidewalls and they make a lot of noise. So that's my guess, but you have to have run flat tires, or else when you get a flat, you're going to be left stranded, unless you get your own spare tire, which I think Bimmerzone.com. They provide kits and whatnot for almost all BMWs. I'm not sure if they have for the new one, but I know for the F10 they had options. When your driving aids are all turned on, this car is very safe. It'll stop automatically. It'll steer automatically for you to avoid, collision and whatnot. But it ruins the driving experience because all these things are intervening with the steering and it vibrates and whatnot. And so, anyways, I've already mentioned we have them off. We're in comfort mode right now. The engine sound. It's very responsive. I really like the comfort mode. Like, I don't know. I drive it always in the comfort mode. In sport mode, yeah, but then you're flying everywhere, and it might put your license in danger. You don't want to do that. Yeah, in sport mode, so I'm gonna elaborate on sport mode. In sport mode, the car is lurchy, and you go forward and backward because it's a ZF 8-speed automatic. It's not a double clutch transmission, so it's trying to simulate the DCT, but it's hopeless. It lurches forward and backward, and the sport mode is nice. But I would not drive it all the time in it, like in city and whatnot. It's really jerky, at least for me. I find the comfort mode is pretty awesome. The adaptive mode is great on the highway as well. The Eco Pro is good, especially if you dial the suspension or whatever. That would be nice. The sport suspension, you'll feel the car will jump. You'll feel the bumps, but it doesn't absorb bumps very well. I mean, it's good, just I don't know, the car is like edgy, it's jumpy, it's strange. But there's not a big difference between comfort and sport. You'll feel difference, but it's not a huge difference, like it's not like comfort, it's comfortable. And sport is, like suddenly it's like sporty, rough and whatnot. So let's put it in sport mode here. Immediately the bolsters join. You can tell the sound changes immediately, but now it's jerky. That's the way. That's how I would describe it. You're like moving forward and backward, and the car is jumping up and down. But it's a nice. The experience is interesting. So, you might like it, you might not. I think it's fine. It'll definitely scare people around you because from the outside the car is heard. You can hear it. Yeah, in sport mode keeps the RPM high, so the boost is always there for you. There's not a lot of turbo lag in this car. Let's go back to comfort. The turbo lag, like in the X3 I've driven, that one we've had for a while, the turbo lag in that car was unreal. In this car, because of the V8, a lot of torque available at 1800 RPM. The turbo lag happens, it's mostly noticeable in a couple situations. The first one is when you're slowing down to a junction and then you're trying to accelerate, or slowing down and want to accelerate. Sometimes you reach like a dead spot. The car stops, suddenly it doesn't accelerate, it just waits there, and then suddenly it takes off. It's very strange. But that one happens in very specific scenarios. So, and the hot weather, like the really hot weather, when you go triple digit, it seems to affect the car a bit. You can feel less power in the car. That's what you call heat soak. I think a lot of cars, most cars experience basically you can fix any situation with your right foot. Like any other car, you would be stuck there for I don't know, until the truck passes and blah 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 passes. But this car, yeah, it's very quick. The power is unbelievable. It's really good in this car. And the MPG is unbelievable. I mean, 23 MPG all day long, man. This is amazing. And that's combined. So on the highway, you get much more. So right now in the comfort mode, the car is comfortable. I can feel the road, you know, it's a little bit jumping. But overall, it's comfortable. In the Eco Pro, we have it set up for sports suspension. So right now, it's not a big difference, but you can feel more the bumpiness. You can feel more bumps. That's really about it. And the body roll is minimized, almost doesn't exist. In comfort, on a high, like strong corners, you'll feel the body roll. I mean, adaptive. It's very good. So you need, of course, longer driving periods. And I didn't spend a lot of time with the adaptive, honestly. But in terms of power, the adaptive is good because the car jumps right away. You know? It's quicker than the comfort mode. When you're in comfort, the transmission doesn't kick down like 2 or 3 gears at a time. You know, like it might kick down a gear or two. It gets you up unless you put your foot down in it. Then it will. But the adaptive, it's quicker. Honestly, it's quicker to respond. And I think it holds the gear a tiny bit longer than the comfort. You go to comfort. It didn't kick down the same way the adaptive did. The adaptive really works. But sport, of course, is king. But one aspect of this car, the engine got a lot of power sub 5,000. When you get to 5,000 RPM, like high rev range, 550, 500, you feel the car starts slowing down. So that's one thing where M cars shine, because BMW, like M cars, usually the power just all the way to the red line, all the way. It doesn't stop. While this one, you can feel the power slows down a bit. After like 5,000, 550, 500, you feel suddenly like you're going really fast. You know, it's pushing you in the seat, and then suddenly you're like, you know, like something slowed down, and that's you can feel it pretty. It's very significant. So right now we're doing what, almost 80 miles an hour. You can hear the cabin noise. I can hear the truck. And sometimes I feel like I have a window open, you know, so I check my windows. The cabin noise is loud. So now people are driving like nuts. So 80, 85. It's relatively loud in here, to be honest. You know, there's no other way to put this out. So why it's not isolated better? I'm not sure. I don't know if it's coast cutting or part of the sportiness, you know, so you can hear the exhaust, you can hear the engine. I'm not really sure, but it's a kind of loud. It makes me feel like a rental car, you know, when you rent the Nissan Altima or whatever, or what is it, the Rogue or whatever. Man, that thing is so loud in the cabin. Well guys, what's my verdict on this car? Well, for an $80,000 car, it's not bad. I would not buy it new because this is the first year production. I would wait, you know, a couple more years until it gets improved and whatnot, and whatever problems they figure it out. Because in terms of reliability, this car had the fuel pressure valve go bad. BMW replaced it, and the first iteration is always the worst. And the steering box, we had an accident with the car. The steering rack was destroyed, so they replaced the steering rack, but the steering rack went bad. The steering box went bad after like a couple of months, and it was sticking on the, like when you're taking a corner, sweeping corner, it would stick. So they replaced it under warranty, of course. So far this one, it's like they replaced it like maybe a few weeks ago. So far so good, it drives nicely, but yeah, there was also like a noise from the car when you turn left. Oddly, when you turn left, you would hear this ticking noise. It sounds like there's a stone stuck in the tire, but it wasn't a stone stuck in the tire. It was something coming from the drivetrain. And before they replaced the steering box, it was constant. Then they replaced the steering box, it went away, and they just the other day, yesterday, and 2 days ago, I heard it. It comes back intermittent. There's no certain behavior. Like I just heard it a few times. It came and went away. So I'm not sure what it is. I don't know. Reliability-wise on this car, I'm not really sure. Again, as you've seen under the hood, lots of plastic in there. It's all gonna eventually dry and whatnot. But anyways, I think this car used, buying it used is a bargain. If you find a clean one, used one, you know, for eventually it's gonna drop down to $40,000 or whatever. I'll just give it a couple of years. And that's at 40,000, 35, 40,000, this is a bargain. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, and feel free to leave any comments, and we'll catch you later. Take care. Bye-bye.